Hello and welcome to the next part of XTIDE series. In the last parts, I explained what XTIDE is, how to use it, and how to boot a retro machine using a network card. If you didn't see the videos, I highly suggest you to watch them first. This network card with XTIDE ROM provides us an important software which can help retro computers to boot from a more modern drives. But it is still just a software, and we need a hardware port where we can connect our disk drives in the end. We still need an IDE controller like this one. It has one IDE connector and it can accept up to 2 IDE devices as master and slave. Take a look at another IDE controller. This one is VLB, but it doesn't matter here. What matters is that it has two IDE connectors, the primary IDE and the secondary IDE. Each can be used to attach two IDE devices, so this IDE controller can handle up to 4 devices altogether. Without going too much into details, we just need to know that XT expects its primary IDE device at address 320 hexadecimal and AT at address 1F0 hexadecimal. XT doesn't support secondary IDE device by default as far as I know, and AT expects the address 170 hexadecimal by default. These are the addresses we see when XTIDE is booting, by the way. Here I have a 386 mainboard without integrated IDE controller. Let's first insert a usual IDE controller with a compact flash to IDE adapter. The same network card with XTIDE ROM from the last part and a VGA card. As you can see, the machine booted just fine. Here you can see how XTIDE reports our compact flash as primary IDE device at address 1F0. As I told, there can be different IDE controllers with one or two IDE ports for primary and secondary devices, or just primary one. If you have an IDE controller with only primary IDE port, the role of the secondary IDE port can be taken over by another extension card. For example, a sound card with an IDE port, which has been usually used to connect the CD-ROM. Fortunately, XTIDE can sometimes see this secondary IDE controller and even boot from the disk connected to it. Let's even go forward and completely remove the primary IDE controller, leaving only this sound card as a secondary IDE controller. As you can see, XTIDE is searching for the primary address 1F0. This can take a while. And then proceeds with the secondary address 170, where we have now our compact flash card connected. The machine boots using the sound card without any problem, as you can see. Once in DOS, we can see in NSSI tool that we have no floppy drives, no serial ports, no parallel ports, and one game port, which is coming from the sound card. This all is true since we have nor floppy controllers, neither any multi-I/O expansion cards, and we have an HDD up there. Now to the interesting question. Can any sound card be used for it? Well, I guess no. If you have a sound card with a good old jumper to enable or disable the IDE port, like this one, then it should work. I have multiple sound cards in my workshop, which do have such jumpers. However, many cards must initialize a driver first before the IDE port can be used at all. This can be done first when the operation system was booted, and this is just too late for XTIDE. Many of such plug-and-play cards do write their settings into dedicated ROM, so I was hoping to get at least those running, but nope, unfortunately I couldn't get them initialized properly. They all worked first when a proper driver was loaded in DOS, but not at the boot time. So if you want to do this, try to find a sound card with IDE settings jumpers on it. This trick can be helpful if you don't have an IDE controller at hand, or if all of your ISO slots are full, but you want to have a sound card. In such case, you could swap your normal IDE controller for a sound card and have network and sound capabilities on a main board with only two ISO slots. As a bonus, you also can use a dedicated IDE CD-ROM controller cards like this one, as long as they also have jumpers and don't need any special driver. And that's it from me for today. I hope it was inspiring, so put your likes, dislikes, or comments below as always, and I'd be glad to see you on my channel again. Thank you and goodbye.